We'll start. I guess we can't yet.
Oh, admit it.
My daughter loves sea turtles.
I love sea turtles too. His favorite is.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. We're just waiting for one more. Joyce joining us. Andrew had some
Carrie's
sort
on
of.
her way.
Virtually. Sounded like she was.
Who's that?
Carrie.
Oh, Carrie, right?
Yes. Yes.
Andrew's not gonna be here.
Andrew's not.
Oh, did he? He's a no.
would you like me to sign in or?
You said you really want.
Hi, Rayla. I could see you on the last video.
No, I know, just sort of a disembodied voice on the side.
Pardon?
Just a disembodied voice on the side. The
Okay.
video looks a little better this time.
We're still waiting for two more people, but one more to make our corner.
Thanks.
Well, I used to go that way all the time when I worked over on the east side.
Sit here, I can sit over here. Oh, that's fine.
They're clean and dirty. Yeah. I used to work right by Benson High School. And used to sit down there when they were-
All right, we have a quorum,
We had a
so.
couple of them, so.
Who's sitting
Order.
totally on the opposite side of Doug?
I'm sorry, opposite side, this is, we have it's karaoke, I think she's gonna do some public.
Okay, because I cannot see her, that's why. Or whoever that is. Okay.
Want to move one more over?
No, I think we just.
Ah, no, it's all good. Hi.
No, we can. All right, now that we're all here, sounds like we have some public comments. Carrie, do you have some comments for us today?
Yes. Good evening. I have met some of you.
I'm Susan, nice to meet you.
Hi, Susan. I'm wondering if you have ever considered, at the beginning of your meeting to introduce yourselves, and so people that are listening online could hear your voice. So I came tonight because I've always been interested in the arts, and particularly the Stuff for the Art program that West Linn has that has never gotten off the ground in the way it's intended. But my last experience watching your meeting was not good. And I would encourage you to watch it for yourself, because you can't hear, like I was saying, I couldn't see people, I couldn't hear, and I don't have bad hearing, I do have older person hearing, but especially I could not hear anyone wearing a mask. And so maybe you should consider, you online too, if you can't find a better place to community hybrid. I know there's other parts of the city, I've watched other hybrid meetings, and they have much better audio. So the other thing I want to tell you about my experience. So I just want to give you some input, because I do follow, you may not know, but because I do it virtually, but I do follow your meetings and your business. And the other thing was your agenda wasn't posted until yesterday morning. And I watched that last meeting, so I kind of thought I heard the meeting regularly on the regular date today, June 1st. And so I kept looking for that because I did want to provide input, and it's great hardship for me to be able to be here tonight. I would have just sent something written had I known, but I had no idea. So I think I've seen the commission struggle with getting people involved and that sort of thing. And I think that comes with trust and something that people can rely on. And one of the things that's most important is an agenda, getting out in a timely manner. I don't know if you are aware, but all of the council's advisory boards are supposed to follow the council rules for posting agendas and minutes and notes, that kind of thing. Their rule is 10 days before their meeting. And that gives, if you think about it, that gives the public like a weekend to do, to review your business or past business and prepare comments or whatnot for your meeting. Many people work, 40 hours a week during the weekdays and have families and other commitments in the evenings. And, weekend is a nice time that has a little more time usually for people, or whatever day their weekend is. So, timely meeting agendas, and also on the meeting agenda tonight, we have something called, let's see, I don't have a copy of it. Can I look at it right here? Okay, thank you very much. I was going to pull it up online, but I can't get wireless. So it says, I'm not even really, I guess it's not a business item. The way your agenda is ordered here, it doesn't show like new business or old business like I'm used to seeing. And some of you know that I'm a neighborhood association president, so I prepare agendas, familiar with what they look like. And that's one thing that's really helpful to the public to track things, is if they can see new business, old business, they can see what's on the agenda that they might be interested in. There was old business, and then if it's not there, then they can say, oh, I don't need to worry about it. You know what I mean? It helps us track things and save time and be more able to participate and willing, because we can rely on that. The other thing is, and I'm sorry if I'm not looking at you folks over there virtually, I forget you're there. The other thing is, on this agenda tonight, it says that there's an Arch Bridge Centennial Celebration, which I remember was on your last week's agenda, and I could hardly hear about it, about a 3-panel mural, and I could kind of hear, I think, Carrie giving some details about what that meant. And then I did happen to get from the Clackamas County Cultural Alliance, I got their notice about it, about the call for artists for that mural, and I got more details, which I appreciated, but I would have been nice if I had heard it in your meeting and also would know what this exactly means, because I thought I heard something about $1,000 or $750 that you were, sounded like, concurring to give to this mural installation, but I couldn't be quite sure, and now I can't be sure on the agenda because it doesn't really say whether it's going to be a business item, which would have to be business if you're just making a decision about money, and it doesn't really say how that relates here. What's the money for? I guess if you've seen the meeting or heard it, but so that's something I would encourage you to make your agenda. Think about, like when I make mine, think about people that don't know anything about what you're doing and those that are following you, and what's the best way to communicate. Because I know you're trying to do a lot of great outreach, and that's great. We got to get people to know about this to help support you and participate. And I like your idea about email and that sort of thing. I am signed up. So the other thing about this, though, with the money thing is, and this is, I've been following this program since it was put on hiatus. Things didn't go well for the first Arts and Culture Commission because there was disagreement about how to do it and how it was being done. And I don't want to see that happen again in this case, because it's been like, I think 20 years or 10 years at least. And so in the case of money, I know what your budget is. It's very generous budget for what they've had in the past. It went from 350,000 in the hole to, I think it's 191,000 right now. And so I have not seen that budget in any of the meetings publicly. Maybe you have seen it in your emails or whatever, or set through staff, but that's something that should be very transparent to the public. And also the way it's handled, because right now it's handled as part of the funds that, the department, it's part of the department's budget that is allocated the funds towards the Public Arts Trust Fund. But if you look in the municipal code about the arts, percent for the arts program, it's supposed to be a separate trust fund so that anybody could know this is exactly how much money they have. And now tonight they want to say to spend whatever it was. I heard 750, maybe 1,000, anyway. And do I agree with that? Do I support it? Do I not? People can't participate in things like that. It's not going to build the public trust. And I'm really concerned about that. So I want to see this group succeed, and I want to see public art vibrant throughout our city. The other thing I am concerned by, and I want to tell you that I don't know if you know how much you know about the history of this program. I know it pretty well, but it once was very much controlled by staff. And it's supposed to be, you know, if you look in the municipal code, I believe it's in chapter 2, you can see it. It very specifically is a public program. It's, you know, it's meant to be run by us, you guys, and the people that participate with you. And I've been noticing since the holiday lighting was proposed as a public art project and asked this group to pay for it, and same with the fountain and some of these things that are coming to you from staff is not the way the program's set up. You guys are the ones that are supposed, I mean, you can approve it, sure, you know, through your procedures that you have made, but I would like to see you take a more proactive approach, not be distracted by things that, so many things that are outside of your percent for the art programs, because people have been waiting for this for a long time. And now, thanks to, Terry Cummings, she was on the council. She advocated to have some of the transportation funds, percent for the arts on some of the transportation projects through the bond go to that percent for the arts. Otherwise, we would have zero practically money. So because we just don't have that many capital improvements that actually qualify for the percent for the arts program. So that was back in 2018 that bond was passed, and now here we are in 22. And so a lot of time has passed, and I think that to succeed, we need to see some true public art that's been produced by a practicing artist that meets the the guidelines that you guys have set, and you take that direction and where it's placed, and don't feel like you have to be taking on cast-offs or mistakes that have been made and offered to you. So anyway, thank you all very much for listening to me. I hope you can appreciate what I said. I really appreciate what you're trying to do here and have done, will do. I know the challenges and the rewards of being on an advisory committee if it works. I've been on several, and as a neighborhood association president. Just thank you very much for your service. Very much, all of you, and welcome to the new members too, and the old members. Like you're staying on.
I've been around.
Yeah. I know. All right, and I just want to. I'll open myself up for any questions if you have your time or care to. But I do want to just say that I will have to leave your meeting because of my other commitments. But I'm glad I could make it down tonight.
Yeah, thank you for spending some time and giving us some of your time today.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, one question. You mentioned that that you had some concerns about how the separate funds would help.
Yes.
And you said it was part of the department budget, and I wasn't sure which department budget.
All of them. So it's in the parks or the transportation. So, as a project fault that one of
Oh,
those.
wait, it's your
Yeah.
budget for-
Yeah, so they just keep it in their budget, and it's just you can't track it. You have to, it should be a line item on the budget, because if you just read if you, the code isn't hard to read.
I spearheaded the rewriting of it too, so,
Pardon?
I spearheaded the revisions that you referred to with the transportation, but the changes of which projects were in scope or out of scope to be eligible for the different part. I'm arguably more familiar with it.
You are,
Yeah.
well, we have the numbers, and maybe they are, I don't know what kind of, I've been through the kind of standard training that the city gives for its advisory groups on several occasions, and I felt it's never like helped me specifically enough in the role I had or whatever advisory group I was on. And, things like this, I didn't see that there's a section about advisory groups in the council rules. That's where you'll find guidance, or, in the community code chapter 2, so anyone that knows me, my MO is I like to share information. And so that's why I think tonight, thank you again. Thanks for your question. Yeah, you're welcome.
Right, let's take a look at the minutes from the last meeting. When you're ready, someone
Joy, can you hear us okay?
move to approve.
I can, thank you. And I did want to actually say I appreciate all of this information. Thank you so much. It really does, even for me as a new member, just clarify some of the things that I know I joined out of passion, but I've never been on an advisory council before. And this was really helpful for me. Thank you.
Did everybody hear that okay? The last thing okay, perfect, thank you.
I move to approve the minutes. Thanks, Lauren. Is there a second? Thanks, Carrie. All right, anyone opposed? All right, minutes are approved. Okay, let's move into our business. Let's talk about the Arts and Culture Show. There's a lot of activity. You want to start, Carrie?
I don't know that I have any updates beyond what has been swapped around the record via email, but the culvert is now live, linked off of our webpage on the city's website. I believe it's, and I saw it on the city's Instagram, I think. I don't know where else it's been shared, but I know that there are rumors of it being shared on the
The
library.
library shared it,
Yeah.
the city shared it, I posted it on the community page, Westland Community Facebook page.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I've been trying to keep an eye on my junk mail. I'm not sure what it will look like when something comes in, like that has been a little managed. Just based on other emails getting eaten, but all my emails from you guys now come to my inbox, so I just don't know if something else we'll get.
I put anything from the city's domain on, I created a filter, so it always, this is not spam.
Right.
So hopefully.
Right, I guess if it goes to that.
I haven't seen anything come through yet, but it's still early days.
What I have to say is I was out of town. Maybe I was in New Zealand. Finally, we could travel there, and I saw always your emails back and forth and what it was going on. And I really appreciate that you get that together, and I printed it out. And so far, I think you all did a good job to get it together, and hopefully a lot of people will jump on and apply that we have a show in August. That would be great.
I think the big promotional piece that we haven't been able to do yet is to push it out to people who explicitly said they were interested in hearing from us. So there's a point of frustration. But hopefully the stars will and will do that.
Did you see Danielle's latest? Last one I saw was whoever is back and she was gonna work on it.
Yeah, right. And I
Yeah.
thought him out there.
Just for clarity, we're just waiting for someone from the city to help us with that outgoing email.
Yeah.
So that's the mail.
Yes. good idea.
And MailChimp is not the only solution to our roads. It just
It's
seems
just
like
one they use.
yes, it just seems like the most readily available option.
Maybe while you're looking at that now, I would like to talk about what happens next. It's from our last conversation, it sounds like there's a lot of, there's maybe not as much availability to do the review in July. So I just wanted to check in. I did do the public call for art for the library here. I participated in that process. It was very straightforward and it was fun for what it was. I hate saying no to people, but it's a secret room, it's okay. But I just want to check in on people, like, I'd like to get that on the calendar now, if we can, and sort of reserve this room, ask.
I can
Val for
reserve
her
it.
help.
I
and
can,
sort of-
yeah, I can reserve it. You can just tell me when you want it.
Okay, she had a whole PowerPoint or slideshow deck ready to go, and so, I mean, I can do that if I'm the one who's here, but I'm certainly planning on participating, but I know you're gonna be going, like you said.
I'll be there, I'll be around.
But that is my anxiety point.
So did we come to a conclusion about the best day to do that yet?
We just have the window and I thought I had it, but I don't. The old copy of it. I don't have the timeline in front of me. But the one that we published, I can hold it up on the website. But I think we gave ourselves a week.
The week before. So we said we would let people know by the Friday after it closed. We gave them until July 8th, I believe. And then we said we let them know by the 15th. That sounds great. So the week of the 11th.
So do you want me to reserve just blocks in the, like, 3 to 5 or 5 to 6, a couple of nights? What do you guys, just let me know, because we'll be able, I'll just put it in.
I mean, and maybe, I don't know, other people certainly can weigh in. For me personally, if it's gonna be anytime after 2:30, it's gonna have to be by Zoom, because my husband will be out of town, so either I can't do it, or it will need to be remote. Yes. It's summer. They're all busy. Or, yeah, I mean, if we can do it at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm happy to come, but I know people have jobs where they have to actually show up to that designated times.
Yeah. Are you around that week?
I'm not, unfortunately.
That's right,
I'm in
okay.
a workshop all day, every day that week, so I can't even remember.
All right, well, can you take the lead on
Sure.
that and you pick the time and day and invite us?
Yeah.
So then you can just be in charge of it and tell us when to show up. and we'll book it.
And then all you have to do is just email me when you guys get it figured out, and I'll reserve what you guys need for this round. Perfect.
Beata and Joy, are either of you available the week of July 11th or during purposes?
Yeah, I am. So the drop off is only on that Sunday. You don't want to do it on 2 days?
Unfortunately, we can only, because we have to, well, no, so the drop off will be well after that. So the art that will be reserved, that will be reviewed, and the jury will all be, just based on visual images.
Right, but I mean, when the artwork is decided, you wrote down in your timeline, it would be only 1 day, the drop off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, just because we don't have any place to store it other than
Right.
where it's gonna be, and there's another show in July and another show in September, so.
Right. So I mean, I can be available to help hanging or putting the show up. That's what I can do for sure. my birthday is on the 29th, so I don't know if anything is going on that weekend. But yeah, for the Sunday, I could be a helper for sure.
What about for
Can you
the,
help with the jurying of it, the week of July 11th? The picking what
Um,
is included?
where do you want to do that?
I mean, we can decide now. I'm happy to do, as I was saying, you know, during the day, I'm more widely available, but in the evening or afternoons, it'll have to be a Zoom. So at 4 o'clock on
I mean, I guess I have to look on a different calendar, but so far, yeah. I mean, we wouldn't meet every day, right? It would be only one day in that week or
Just
2
be
days in
once.
that week.
Yeah, just once probably for no more than 2 hours.
If I know that, if I know that or I will know in advance of which day I will be available and actually which day I'm not available. So yeah, for sure.
Joy, are you available to be on the jury that week, the week of July 11th? If you have any.
Yeah, I think so. I will double check, let you know, but for now you can say yes.
I'm available that week as well if you need me. I'm available that week as well.
Okay, great. I'll just pick a time and send out an invite and make it so.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. That's great. Okay, and then continuing in the vein of what's next.
Yeah.
What's next?
so waiting for Seth to finish, then during set stuff. We have the room reserved for both the load in and load out. So loading in July 31st, and we need to show that day.
Hold on. When we decide who's in and who's out, who does the communication to those artists?
That's an online thing, right? We
One of our lovely chairs.
I'm sorry.
Email everyone.
Yeah.
Congratulations. you
Yeah.
made it in.
Okay.
Yeah,
You get a spreadsheet.
you get two emails. And I have a fine selection of what the solid rejection letter looks like. So we can-
I think also Cheryl might have one that we use.
Oh, perfect.
for
Okay.
People, we can send those to you as well.
Yeah, great.
That's my question to you guys, because I was not really into that loop. So how many items can each artist have? That's one thing. And the other thing is, how many artists do we think of? And the third thing is, what was it? Yeah, ask me these two questions. So how many pieces can one artist have? Oh, yeah, and actually, who will besides us judge? Only we do, or do we invite someone else who can, only us?
Just ask for this one.
Yeah, I think we talked about that before. Yeah, okay. But yeah, how many pieces do you think can each artist? I mean, if we get only 5 artists, maybe then they can have, each of them can have 3. But I mean, in general, what do we think? Maybe.
That's kind of my thinking as well. So we didn't stipulate one way or the other. And but like, I think I'm pulling up the call now. I forget what we said for submissions. So we invited people to submit up to 3. And I think, just like you said, if we get inundated with 1 million fabulous applications or submissions, then we start making tough decisions and probably limit it to 1 per. If we get 3 applications, then maybe we we reconsider. So I think the limit, any limits will be based on how many we receive.
Yeah, it's like the lottery. Your chances of winning depend on how many people apply. Some lotteries.
Okay, so we've got communication. Then we've got to accept the stuff. Then there's a day, we already have that day set up for accepting the art and paying stuff. Cool, okay. Then we
I
have
cannot- So I'm not there for pickup. So I leave town again on the 16th and coming back in September. In that case, I also want to throw in, do we do another summer break we did before that we don't meet, or do we meet through the whole summer as well every month?
You're getting ahead of us. Let's finish
I
talking.
know, but that's why I want to tell you, I'm not there in August for the pickup and not in September, but I can let you know that later.
Okay,
Not there
Yeah.
not for the pickup. I can help hanging, but not pickup.
good to know. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. I think the one thing that we kind of have left to decide is about a reception.
So I think the first thing to decide is, do we want to do something or not? And then if the answer is yes, then there's lots of other things to decide.
Right.
Isn't that also something we should decide when we know how many artists we have?
Yeah, if there's only 3 artists, do we still have a reception?
Or then we say to the artist, if you want to have a reception, you know, I know that from, like, I'm invited now in the Canby Library to have a show there, but they say if I want to have a reception, I can do that. So they wouldn't do that for me, even if they invited me to have a show there. You know, and so maybe we can decide that when we know. I don't know if we should make it public before or not, or if we have to make it public before we know how many people are in the show.
Doug has a
Yeah, I
comment.
was just thinking, it's not just for the artists, it's for the community, and also to meet you all if you have the experience, I mean, shooting the time to do that. So, I would suggest that regardless of how many people you have as artists, that you would consider having one. We can make that happen, if that's what you want to do.
I'm pro reception. But I know everybody's got like travel plans and stuff like that. but they're-
I'm pro
so-
reception, I just might not be able to attend.
Yeah.
But I totally agree, it's great to have, like, and because this space is typically just a single artist, to have a slightly different use of it with different people, just to let people know and, you know, get
There's a question to Doug. When you have shows from other groups or other solo artists, how many people actually come? Most of the time, my experience is if you're not really well known, it's mostly the family and the friends, and I don't know how many people really show up from the community. So for us, would it be also?
Yeah, we traditionally don't do receptions for artists, or can do them if they'd like to. But I think this is a little different because this is juried by the Arts and Culture Commission. It's for the whole community, and it's not just one singular artist. So I'm just offering it as a possibility that we're the cities can provide that and help with that if that's what you all want to do. We
I mean,
just, because so I can't even remember the last, well, it's through COVID, right? It's trying to remember before
Yeah.
COVID. We did. I know we had one pretty big show here that we had a reception for that because the artist had a reception for it, and it was really well attended. But again, I think this is more of they're all community events. I don't want to say that they're not, but I think that this is the first time you're doing it. You might want to do a first Thursday. I'm just saying it's an option if the commission decides that they want to do that. It's something that we can try to make happen from the city side.
Yeah, I think if we make a reception under the umbrella, not that's an artist reception, so not more a reception from us that we introduce as, again, I don't know how to explain that, but more like sort of we are the group who does the reception and introducing artists we decided on or something like that. Does it make sense what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that,
it's not really an artist specific reception, but it's
right.
more like a commission specific reception.
Keep it together as we are the people who do the reception, but want to in that not only introduce us, but what we did with these artists and how we appreciate their work or whatever.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm all for sandwiches and soda. Great. But yeah, have a specific time. I always forget about first Thursday, but first Thursday is nice. That's a thing that I think people know of as a.
I'm a little shy about doing it on first Thursday, just because there's a lot of really good competition on first Thursdays. And that's exactly like the East Side does first Friday and last Thursday and the other.
Second Tuesday. We're taking the second Tuesday.
So I would suggest that we stay away from first Thursday, just because like there's so many galleries that are back in the district now, and our plot is back to.
Yeah.
think the last one I can remember was a Sunday afternoon.
But which Sunday?
First Sunday?
17th.
Whichever one you choose.
I like the idea of doing it early, Michelle, the first weekend, maybe.
Yeah, so you're, I don't know if you are.
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted. You're saying. Still muted. No, still.
Can you hear me now?
Yay!
I never get that. I don't know why. So yeah, what I was saying is like, what about that 9th? So the next Saturday, when people go anyway shopping or go out and about and we hang out, maybe we can make like shifts and have it really the more, not only 2 hours open, so on a longer period of time, so that people stop by over the weekend, want to check out a book or aren't shopping and know, hey, in West Lynn is now something going on from us, so that we have not a reception in form of a 2-hour things, more like a day event, or not even the day, but sort of a longer event
Like a open house.
as an idea, you know. Do it at the, whatever the Saturday is, the, which one is it, August? No, August.
6th.
The 6th or so?
Well, and we don't have to do it at the beginning either. We could also do more of like a closing reception or just sometime midstream.
I'm always concerned in the summer that people are gone for vacation. I mean, with COVID, I don't know how many people are now out and about, and maybe they're happy to have something to do and come along. So that's always a non-known thing. So we don't know what reaction and reflection we will get.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I do think a couple hours is plenty to have as a designated celebration time. Sort of, I like the midday Saturday. It's often the time people come to the library anyway, or go shopping, as you said. And even if only 10 people came, like, that seems fine, and we get some balloons and you can have them out there, and then people say, oh, what's happening? And then you get 15 or whatever, but, yeah, I think it's,
Yeah,
I don't want to have shifts, and I don't think there's nobody's gonna say anything necessarily.
No, I think we
But,
would just have at least one commission member here the whole time.
yeah,
Like artists to be here too.
yeah, I mean, it's celebrating them as well, and sort of like, hey, look at what we did.
I think most receptions are exactly that, where it's just an open house and you can swing by and check out the art and eat some free food. It's not necessarily that you expect the artist to say anything about it.
Yeah, that's good. And I agree with just, I like it at the beginning versus at the end. Have yeah, and celebrating again for like hard work, and then take a break after that.
Okay, so Saturday the 6th or the 13th.
I would like to be gone on this, but I've already been driving a lot of the calendar talk, so.
What do you think, Carrie?
I'm fine with either. I might be on the 13th, but I'm not sure. I need a different workshop that week. I'm not sure when I get one again. But neither of us are prerequisites for it.
You are at this time?
Yes,
I mean,
clear.
How about you online? What do you think of August 6th or 13th for open house?
I'm up for both.
Okay. Joy, how about you? Okay, well, I like August 6th.
I move that we have a reception for the Arts and Culture Art Show at the library on Saturday, August 6th.
I said. All right, all those in favor?
Yes, yes.
All right. Any opposed? All right, we shall have a open house for the art show on Saturday, August 6th, 3 to 5. Good one. 2 to 4.
2 to 4 sound good. For me.
And
We probably need to make sure we can have the room.
Before we walk this in.
Before we walk it in too far.
Like, well, this is awkward.
So we'll have staff check the calendar, make sure that works here for the room. But barring any conflicts, that will be our time. Okay, so I think we've got a good plan for the art show. Woo-hoo, go team, good work. All right, now it's time to talk about summer break and meeting times.
So I know that summers are hard and people have to travel in the summer. But I also know that a lot of arts organizations tend to be particularly active over the summer. So I'm loath to completely take the summer off. And this might sound silly, but like last summer, every time I dialed into the Clackamas County Arts Alliance, the little Arts Council liaison call, everybody was like, we're doing this, and we got this coming up, and we got this show, and we just opened up this call, and they'd be like, Carrie, we're on hiatus. And so I think it is a tricky time to bow out entirely in arts planning, just because so much that happens then.
Well, and the world is sort of, it's like waking up from a lot, and it feels like a good time to be really active and be a part of all of that.
Yeah, like everything's even more active. It
Right.
usually is for a long time.
So yeah, I feel like if we can keep the group going during the summer, it could be good, so.
And now that said, we
But can we-
obviously are not the queens of flora.
Right.
So I don't know if that's something that could easily be solved by revisiting our meeting time. If that's something where if we were bi-monthly instead of monthly, if that would solve it. I don't know. So I feel like the summer break is a different conversation than the
Meeting
why is it
times,
hard for us to get people together.
yeah.
I would say just for myself personally, doing the jury, doing the art show, that like having done more things over the last couple months, I am less likely to be participating in additional meetings about just stuff that's going on. So, but if more people show up, then you can still have a meeting without me.
Well, I think that's part of the problem is that I think some of us that have been doing a lot of heavy lifting feel a very strong obligation to be here every month. So that we do have a quorum. And that's the risk of sounding silly. That's not fair. And so I want to make sure that we're making, and it's not fair for anybody. And so I want to make sure that we're maximizing everyone's ability to attend. So that it's, because being able to lose 3 people a month and still get business done is like, that should be pretty good odds. So if we maybe optimize our meeting time, maybe, people kind of come in and out as they're able and get stuff done, but it doesn't feel like there's weight on anyone's shoulders.
So the community room is booked for you guys. Just remember the library closes at 4 o'clock on the weekends.
Oh, okay. So that makes it easier to keep everybody up, but yeah. That's great.
We open earlier, we used to open at noon. We open at 10 now, so. Perhaps since we would like to be open for.
Normal time.
Yeah.
Beata, did I say your name right? You wanted to talk about your summer schedule. Will you be able to join us for meetings over the summer? It sounds like you're going to do some traveling in August.
Actually, I might join a group and have there some work to do, and that's always on Wednesdays, sort of. And I figured it's always when we have the meeting, and it's always up until 5. So I can come back and be joining a little bit later, but for sure I cannot do September because I will be out of town. And then even, what is today? June, July and August, I can only join later. If,
Later than 5 o'clock, like
Mhm.
5:30 or so.
Yeah, so one is Lake Oswego and one is in Troutdale. And
Oh.
so maybe the one in Troutdale I can't, but the Lake Oswego is only 15 minutes drive away. If that is okay. Or yeah, I will be not here 3 times in a row. And that's over the summer, so.
Right. Joy, are you able to tell us about your summer schedule?
She wrote something, did she? Mm. Oh, that,
All summer. Woo-hoo.
Great.
Thanks, Joy.
And I don't know, I mean, part of the tricky thing is it's hard to figure out what times work for people if we only have the conversation about what time works for you at times that don't work for people.
Right.
So I don't know if that's something where we should set up like a quick little Google form poll or something to re-ascertain. Because the only reason that we meet Wednesdays at 5 is because one afternoon 4 years ago was that room and I'm like, Tuesday, I can do Tuesday.
Yes.
Oh, I can do that. I can do Tuesday. And so we can kind of revisit all that.
We can. Mel and Doug, are there any constraints on your schedule that would, if we decided to move our meeting time, that we
Well,
would need
we
to
have,
consider?
you guys, we've got lab,
Library
We've got
advisory board.
library advisory board, he's got DEI, and we also have a foundation.
Okay.
And
There's
we
lots of-
do
But not
work,
the
so
baby.
we're here early at 7:30 in the morning,
Right.
so, and those are all the evening meetings, so. Send out a Google poll or figure out when you want, we can make it work.
Yeah, so you can just put down those times as notes.
Yeah.
Probably wait you guys a little bit more heavily since we need you to get in the building, but nothing else.
Okay, I'll do that. So cool. And then I'm thinking maybe my personal feelings about the summer is because we have such a big event going on in July, this summer, that we should continue meeting through July and August, but maybe take September off. And then maybe meet again in October, November, but take December off. That's my thoughts.
And again, we can just kind of see what works for us.
I think sort of as Carrie said, point, it's moderately predictable. Oh, we're gonna be, no.
Yeah.
I thought the last few years, I mean, not COVID, but in general, people are traveling in the summer, and September is right when school starts again. And so maybe, I mean, I won't be there, but I think the September meeting would be nice after the summer to reflect or see what we can go for the next few months then from that point on. But I'm open to whatever the group might want to do, because each of you know when they are available in the summer or not. So if you travel or not, or if you say, doesn't matter, we are here.
Speaking for myself personally, all of my trips are mid-month, so.
We can work around you. As long as we stay at the beginning of the end of the month, right? Do we need to propose that today? Do we need to make a decision?
On a new schedule. I think setting out the poll
Okay.
is a good.
September's far enough off if we're not gonna meet in September. We have more time to decide that.
Well, I guess, I mean, so, like, just looking ahead 1 month. For July, if we already have our jury time slot squared away on people's calendars, if we already have a reception plan rolling, like, it kind of comes down to the agenda, right? So
Well,
like,
and that's what, yeah, we'll be doing stuff, but we're not gonna be doing business.
Right.
Necessarily, like, I think meeting on July 6th, I will also. not-
Yeah, can I make a suggestion? I want to make a suggestion. So if July, we meet for the committee to review applications, why can we also push our monthly meeting in that week?
Well, I think what Lauren was just saying is that maybe we don't have any business that we actually need to attend to in July. So maybe we don't need a meeting in July, we just do
Yeah.
work.
But I mean, if we really want to meet in July, maybe we can combine that. That's why I'm saying. So then we don't have two.
Have a proper public meeting notice, right?
And in August, so what was now, did you decide to meet in August or not? Because we have the show.
That's what we're trying to decide.
That's, when would it be? Wait, August, I'm in July here. August the 3rd, right? Yeah. August the 3rd. And September the
I think that might be useful
and 7th.
from planning standpoint for.
It might, especially if we have to spend some money.
Can I ask a quick sidebar question about money? About money, based on a bit on Carrie's comments, but also. Can we
Finish?
finish?
Can we get to a minute?
I will leave.
Make a note, let's bring it up. Okay, so in parking lot,
Yes.
just so we can finish this.
Yes, no.
So no meeting July 6th,
Yes.
but yes, meeting August 3rd. Joy, you want to tell us in the chat what you think of that?
Okay. July, yes. August, no. September?
No, you got it backwards. July, no.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
August, yes.
Not too many. Yes.
September, maybe.
Okay.
No, yes, maybe.
And December, we think about later.
Yeah.
Okay. Every quarter separate. Okay, great. Got that.
Library advisory board, if there's not anything pressing, just they need every other one.
Well, as an excited new member, I'm hoping that there's gonna be more business. That we're gonna be doing more stuff.
Right.
So,
But maybe once we get that more kind of teed up, then kind of like we're saying with the art show, it's clear kind of how we're divvying up responsibilities, and we don't necessarily have to come to the table to vote each month. It's more just, we do the thing, we do something.
yep. Okay, so we've got our, so that, just to summarize, no meeting in July, regular meeting in August, maybe a meeting in September. And between now and the August meeting, there will be a poll about meeting times and if we're going to change the actual time of the meeting. Okay. All right. Carrie, you brought the Archbridge Centennial Celebration. And the 3-panel mural discussion. Do you have updates? I know you were kind of like, there wasn't a lot that you knew a little bit, but.
I don't, so I did not, I should have reached out to Trieste prior to this meeting to get the latest, greatest. As Carrie mentioned, the call for artists is out there. She's actively looking to commission 3 artists for each of the, 1 artist per panel. And that would be a great thing, actually, to set up for
Yeah.
So she's looking for artists, ideally who have experience designing murals to make a paint by numbers design. So they would be coming up with a design that gets transferred to the panel that then the public would all collaboratively paint in during the celebration.
And she is, she's offering payment of $750 per artist. And then was also anticipating about $750 of expenses for the paints and panels and whatnot. And so I had offered to her that I would bring that to this group to see if that's something that would be comfortable helping to offset some of those costs, since it would be a shared project with them. So there wasn't a direct ask for a certain amount of money. There's no expectation. It just seemed like it would be a nice gesture, and we do have budget, but not necessarily huge plans at this moment for how to spend that, and it seems that might be a good opportunity to kind of get our feet wet for the public art project.
Right. Okay.
But as I understand it, we wouldn't even be voting on spending that money. We would be voting to come up with a statement to submit to city council to request.
That was my question. Like, we don't actually, no, spend it.
I think.
Does the artist or does Trieste have a timeline when she is there's no direct ask of us at this point, right? Okay. Should we wait for a direct ask?
I don't know that she's even gonna be.
How is it funded if we don't participate?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
She might even be just planning on doing it herself, just because she's so excited about the idea.
Sure.
But I haven't gotten the latest update from her. She was working with Oregon City Council, and I believe that the very recently formed Oregon City.
Okay.
But she was saying like we don't have a budget.
Right.
I was like, well, maybe you can help me with that.
So no action needed at this point.
Well, unless we want to submit something to council to propose that we.
People can certainly disagree with me. I feel like if it's, I don't know. If this is right. Anyway, my initial reaction is if it's not sort of our project, that to have an ask to respond to makes it a lot more straightforward to respond. And so when she has a budget and there's sort of, again, there's paper trail, there's a whole budget thing that makes sense as opposed to, I heard about this person doing a project, let's give them some money. Like, that just makes me feel a little less comfortable than if there's
We had
we
talked
don't even have
about
like an official process of any kind, but at least it's something to respond to.
Right.
And once we sort of get more things that we're generating or asking for, then I feel like that's easier for us to put the budget on. But if it's somebody else's project, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember we talked in the last meeting about there would be an opportunity for that art to be then displayed in this Linn. So she's gonna put together an ask for us and get to have that captured in there, but it will be available to the public and Westland to view and interact with.
Yeah, because I want to help her. It does sound like a really cool project. It is, the process feels too soft to make any kind of motion about, for me personally.
And I think that's part of what she's experiencing too, is that she's working with a relatively new group. It's the Oregon City Arts Commission, I think, just got up and running in the last quarter or 6 months or so. So they don't necessarily have processes defined. I shared with her all of our new guidelines and whatnot of like, this is what we came up with, this is because we borrowed ours from somebody else. And so she wasn't quite sure what the process was, and we haven't done this before, so I wasn't sure what the process was, and so it was more just like, well, maybe we can help you. Well, that would be nice. But kind of the blind leading one.
Yeah, and I think it's totally fine to, yeah, if it's easy for you to get back in touch and say, the Arts Council is supportive of this idea. They just need something to to. And because we've had like, whatever, the McLean House asked us to write a letter of support for their grant, like, I mean, that's in that line of, here's the thing, do you guys agree with it? Anyway. But I think it's fine to tell her. If you ask for money, yeah, might.
We are interested in the project for sure.
They might recommend to council, but they get it.
Right. Beata, I wanted to make sure you had a chance to participate in the discussion.
More or less. No, because I heard about that project, and yeah, I'm not sure if this is something we should support with money or anything. I don't know if this in our commission work what do they want from us in particular? I only heard, do you want to help us, but I don't know exactly what that could be, support us or so, and I don't know, you said it's the bridge
Part of the centennial celebration.
Yeah. So
First weekend of October.
what is the city of West Linn thinking about that in form of, do they already plan something also to do, or is it more that they throw that on us because we are now the arts group? So that's more what I don't get out of it. What should we actually participate with, or that's why I'm a little bit
The impression
poor.
I'm getting, based on a handful of people I've talked to about different projects, is that and I could be completely mistaken, but the impression I've gotten is that the bridge celebration is a largely grassroots effort. It's not something where the tribes and West Wing Council and Oregon City Council have all gotten together and said, we're going to throw a party. It's more people saying we should do something. And so there's like these little ideas that are popping up here and there. And so I don't think there is kind of an umbrella effort under which these things are happening so much as small upstarts of ideas that hopefully will get enough kind of kindling going that it becomes a larger celebration. But again, I could be, like, maybe there is this grand plan that people I've talked to about it aren't aware of, but that's.
Yeah. Mel and Doug, do you know of any city participation in the project at all?
I do know that there's a couple people from the city that have been going to meetings. John Williams, who's deputy city manager, and I believe Dylan Digby, who's assistant to the city manager, have been going, maybe some others. I know that there was talk, and I think that what I've heard is that Oregon City is progressing a little bit farther than Westland has on this. That's all I know. I haven't been invited or at to any of those meetings, so I can't speak to them. I do know the Historical Society has been involved. Potentially, that's what I know. And I know that certainly around our old colleague here,
Lord.
yeah, Laura Griffith is. I haven't heard much from her.
No,
Like Mary
I
just
got
came
meeting.
on, I wonder if she might have something to say.
Hi, thank you. Sorry, I couldn't figure out how to raise my hand other than my actual hand. But I have a little bit of information about it. I have been to one meeting, and it is a combined effort involving representatives from, as Doug just said, both of the cities and council members and Main Street participation of both cities. And but they're still doing a lot of kind of, should we have music from the high school bands somehow get together, and they're kind of still formulating ideas too. So that's kind of all I know, but I know that they have a commission and they have had meetings, so there might be I'm assuming they're recording the meetings, so I could report back with more specifics if that would be helpful to you next time.
Mary, do you know if there's like one organization that's kind of marshaling everybody up together?
I got the sense that it was Oregon City's idea to start with, although I could be wrong about that because I wasn't involved in the first meeting. So, but I could find out I could easily find that out. I'm sure someone knows.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Absolutely.
And that might be why there isn't a better understanding, is there, it might be more an agreement of it would be cool if, and not anybody started with
Right.
making it so.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so Mary will find out who's leading the charge on that stuff. You might reach out to Trieste. Okay, cool. All right. Any other discussion on that? All right, any comments from the board? You got your money question answered?
She knew what I wanted to know.
It has been on my mind what our, how we spend money and what money there is to spend, and that's not really been like oriented to that. So if there's something that I could read or you can point me to, I would love to see
That's a
that.
good question. I think that's one of the confusing pieces, because as was mentioned, it comes from different projects that's been funded. Lauren Brighthoff is the finance director, I think spoke to this group at some point about that. So I don't directly have a budget line that I oversee that has this in it, so
Sure.
contrary to popular belief, maybe, I don't have any control over those funds either, or access to those funds. I believe that, and again, I don't know if there's just a line item that's there for that. I think it might be best, rather than me say something that was wrong, have Lauren come and explain it again, since it's been new. And maybe there's something easier to understand about it.
Okay.
Because I don't really, I would tell you if I had the answer, I just don't.
Yeah.
It was something like she tracks it as eligible projects get budgeted. She tracks it as a liability against that department's budget. If you pay, $10,000 for this project, and therefore 1,500 is now, like, you owe the arts $1,500.
Was that pre-COVID that she met with us all?
Yeah.
But we all met via, we weren't in person.
Oh, maybe it was during COVID. I
So
know it
if
was in
you-
person pre-COVID.
Yeah, you should be able to go back on the website and there will be, I just don't remember. I'll do a little bit more research and see if I can pinpoint it, because I remember her bringing up stuff and there should be
Yeah.
a
And it was
recording
still
of that.
confusing. I mean,
Yeah, it is, like
it's not-
watching it's not gonna, and then there's minutes that you could read over.
And even then, that would be, like, we can go back and find the spreadsheet from that point in time, but presumably other projects have incurred
Exactly.
costs since, and so
It would,
yeah, I was just gonna say, it's not as straightforward as log into the thing and press the button and you'll know what our current budget is.
And I also think the way it's set up, it's not, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I don't think it's necessarily project-based, so it's public works, so then art has to be something that would be related to public works. I think it's across the city.
Well, it's basically that project has first right of refusal, I
Ah,
believe.
so
So-
there you go.
So if it's something like when there was the new police station and they did the new artwork for that,
Mhm.
as I understand it, that was where the percent for art for that capital project went. But there might be a project where it doesn't make sense to have art, because it's like an underground utility or something. And so then that can go in, but in the code, it talks about how the department that was funding the project is one of the stakeholders in determining how that money is spent. So it doesn't mean it has to go to that particular project necessarily, but they are an informed party in deciding how the money gets spent. So doing that, I feel like looking forward, that makes sense. It's like, oh, we're building a new building, we'll figure out, but it's the retroactive part that I think is really confusing. It's like this money's been accruing, there wasn't even an Arts Commission to do anything about it. And so there's just like this pot of money that like, is there like a statute of limitations where now it's just like, okay, now it's just public arts money?
Yeah.
Or do we still need to figure out how to bring all the different departments together to?
And I have that, that's a question I don't, I do believe it's based upon when you have a bond, which this money, I think for the most part,
All
would have come from, the go bond. That it has to be spent within the time of the go bond life, if you will, like, and I know that there's spending parameters for, and again, this is where Lauren would come in very handy on this one, is, you know, that certain things have to be spent during certain times.
But there's no like use it or lose it language in the.
I don't, that I don't know. I don't know if that's from the bond side of the house or if that's from.
Oh, So there might be other situations over.
I don't know. Yeah, that I don't know. Obviously, since many municipalities, including the state, have a percentage for the arts with their programs. For building projects, I maybe something along those lines. I don't, honestly don't know. The one thing I do know is that the big change that happened, which of course you worked on a lot, was at the time that we inherited the code, if you will, it was that the city manager or their designated persons was the person that would make decisions for the art, and especially for spending on the art. That changed to the council with the advisory coming from this body. So this body doesn't actually, as you mentioned, does not spend money. They advise as to how the money might be spent to the city council, who ultimately will make decisions.
We're just saying, it would be cool, because there's a lot of things. All right, thank you for that. That helps.
It gives me some places to think about and look.
Well, it's not like there's a
information.
GL line, like I do all of the allocating for the entire library budget. You know, I have different GL lines that I can pull from, and it's not like you look at the city's budgeting and it says GL art and culture, you grab this amount of money. It's not set up that way.
It's not predictable.
Yeah, and we're biennium, and so there's a lot of moving parts in it all the time. So
If Lauren's available in August, it might be nice just to have her out and do a 10 or 15 minute primer, and I don't know, you guys would know better if August or like October would be better based on the school year ending. in
Yes.
July, so we kind of know like.
August is
might
gonna be
too
really
soon.
tricky because that's the end of our fiscal year, so I would say
Maybe
let's
later
shoot
on.
for either if you decide to meet in September or even October.
Yeah, I think though that if you want to make a recommendation for spending out of that, it'd be good to know what you have.
Yeah.
Potentially, and then especially in this October is that event, if that's what you can ultimately decide you want to recommend to city council. You probably want to talk to her before that, not that, obviously it's not a very large number that you're talking about. But
Yeah.
then you would at least understand a little bit. We would all probably understand a little better. that process.
Right, yeah. So you could ask her
I
if she
will.
has availability, or if she's got preference. Yeah. 10-minute version of the budget.
I have a related topic. I think in our guidelines, or maybe even in the code, it also says that one of the things we as a group do is provide some kind of strategic plan for the subsequent next year to council at the end of the year. And I think we said the end of the year, and I think part of that was because then we would have a good idea from Lauren of where we were in terms of forward-looking budget. So that would probably be kind of a nice dovetail. It's like we have X dollars and now we can start to think about what that might look like for 2023. Yes. Yep. See. Very cool.
Join us.
All right, other board comments?
I would still love to divvy up the attendance at the monthly Clackamas County Arts Alliance Arts Groups meetings that happen the fourth
I wish I could.
Tuesday.
I wish I could.
So if anybody is ever chomping at the bit, we find that. I was not able to attend last week. Like, I think the same
The
time.
fourth, what day?
The fourth Tuesday of the month at 4 o'clock.
Do they still have their offices here in Weston?
They don't have any physical offices. And the woman who lives in Westland, who used to be one of their staff members, no longer with them.
chairs.
I don't know. There's Susie, I forget her last name, she has the artist exhibit program, and she, that was still lives here.
So it's the fourth Tuesday at what time?
Fourth.
And is it all, this is all
It's all
on?
good, yeah. And just as kind of a news update, apparently last week there was a bunch of like budget meetings for the county, yes. And one of the things found in the budget was that they were looking to largely reduce the budget for the Cochran County Parks and Lands. So maybe they wanted to do meeting next week. They were looking to like really slice it, and it'll be really unfortunate if that happens because they experience a lot of turnover, and they're just kind of at the point where like the executive director was like, this time next month, I'm gonna have the job posting for my assistant, and it's gonna be great, and we're growing, and it's fantastic, and now they aren't even sure if they can maintain the big budget. So my letter to your commissioners, not these ones, county commissioners, and and tell them to fund their. That's it, my PSA.
Okay. Well, if any of you are interested, Youth Music Project is having a week of concerts next week, in 2 days.
Next week?
Next week,
Okay.
yeah. One thing that might be of interest to attend is our band showcase. It's going to be on Saturday, the 11th at 6 p.m. It's our advanced bands. And it should be fun. It's free to come.
All week?
Yeah, the concerts are 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, Monday through Thursday. Nothing on Friday.
Okay.
But then, yeah, Saturday, 6 p.m. is our band showcase. So we'll rock out. Good time. And you can see our big tree sculpture in the lobby. You smart.
My husband just found out you guys are the home of the Oregon, yeah.
Oregon
Did you
Music Hall
guys-
of Fame.
Did you guys, get, I heard that there was that stuff was be covered, was everything covered?
I don't know. Actually, Oregon Music Hall of Fame is a separate
Oh, okay.
organization from us. We just house the museum, which is just a wall and an interactive computer display. But yeah, we know them well. And it was a big deal. I'm glad to hear it got recovered. I didn't know that. All right. Coming to the limit. Anything else for the good of the order? All right, thanks everybody for your time. Let's adjourn the meeting. Thank you for checking.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.